Hi everyone. In this first video I'm going to show you the very basics of my digital studio. When I say MDS in the future, that's what I mean. I mean my digital studio. It's such a mouthful, it's easier to say MDS. And when I'm talking about the MDS at the moment, I'm meaning MDS 2. The original My Digital Studio 1 was a great program when it came out. It was wonderful. But there are so many things that have been improved by introducing MDS2 that you'll want to get that upgrade. There are so many features of it, and many of the features that I'm going to be talking about are not available in the original MDS. And the difference between MDS2 and MDS2 Plus is simply that MDS2 Plus has a whole load of downloads included in the price. So I think there's about $500 worth of downloads, so that's stamp sets, punches, embellishments, templates, that kind of thing, all included in the MDS2 Plus price. MDS2 and MDS2 Plus use the same program, so whichever you have, you'll be able to do these techniques. First of all, you can see from my screen that I have a Mac. I don't have a PC and I've never used MDS on a PC. I have seen it, and once your MDS screen is up and open, it's the same. But to find your MDS is slightly different. With a Mac, if you go to Finder, so I've already clicked on my screen, Finder, File, New Finder window, Applications, and then in here you'll have this MDS logo, this green logo. I don't have it on my applications simply because of the way that I've stored. I saved the file when I downloaded it. I chose to put it into a folder first, so here it is here. Okay, you just click on that. With a PC, you would go to Run Programs or My Programs, and you would find the icon once you've downloaded MDS. So I'm going to click on MDS here to open it. Mine will take a few seconds to open because I have a lot of ongoing projects, so it's trying to find them all, and I have a lot of downloads. Here we go. The first conversation box, and what I mean by a conversation box is a pop-up box. So this pop-up conversation box will come up first, and it will show you any of your recent projects that you've been working on. So I have a few ongoing here. For the first time, obviously, you won't have these because you haven't got a project ongoing. Now, if I click more, it'll take me to a list of all the projects, but I'm not going to do that just now. If you go to photo books and individual pages, this is scrapbooks. These are all your options. So you have different sizes that Stampin' Up! Will print for you. You have the swatch book and the board book, and I'm just going to go in and let you see one. So you have the choice of a designer page, photograph only, or create your own. The designer pages are like templates. They're made for you already. You don't have to do anything. You can just click and drag and drop your photographs into it. You can move some of the design elements around if you wish, and you can delete them, but it's a good place to start from if you've never created a digital page before. The photo only will give you block photo boxes on a page, and you would just click and drag your photos in, and then you could put embellishments around it. So it gives you layouts for your photographs to start with. And the create your own is a completely blank page. So that's the scrapbook pages, and it gives you the option of doing individual pages once you go through opening these files up. The cards and tags, as it states, is cards and tags. These are the sizes of cards that Stampin' Up! Will print for you, so you can choose which size you want. And with the greeting card, you will design the front, the inside two page faces, and the back face. With the postcard, you just design the front and the back. The trifold, you'll do all three on the front and all three on the back, and the tag is the front and back. The calendar, you have different options in sizes, and the templates will help you through them when you get into those pages. Journal allows you one option. It's one size, and you design the front and the back. The designer templates are, as I was talking about with the books and individual pages, these are the kind of things that you would get. You can purchase these on the Stampin' Up! Online store. Sometimes they'll be offered as a freebie, and sometimes, well, in MDS 2 Plus, you would have gotten a few of these. So, like I say, the elements are all on the page already. You just would open it up and click on your photographs and drag it in. That's simple. And there are ones for greeting cards. Here we go, some greeting cards ones. You can see this. So they're really cute cards that you can either leave as they are, personalize them on the inside with some text, or change the colors, things like that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the start on here. And then a custom page is, as I said before, you start from a completely blank canvas. There's nothing on these pages when you open them. Okay, so I'm going to open at the bottom is the print services. If you click on the products and pricing, you can look at your cart and reorder a project once you've ordered it already. But just now I'm going to open up this recent project, which is the calendar that I'm going to be showing you how to do. So when it first opens, you'll see that you have a menu right at the top of your window, your screen. Then you have these icons along the top of the MDS screen, the design center on the right hand side, and then the resource palette on your left hand side. And you can minimize your resource palette like this. And I went for months and months and months with the original MDS, not realizing that the resource palette was even there. So there are lots of different ways for you to do things in using either of these menus. And because I didn't know this was here, I always used the design center. So you'll find that most of the things I show you, I go to this right hand side to the design center. But I've come to use the resource palette more and more, especially when I'm adding in photographs, and you'll see that when I get to that video. On the screen you can have your rulers, or you can take them off. See? I tend to have the rulers on all the time. Next to that is your grid, and you can create a grid or put a line down. Say you wanted to have everything at the 3-inch mark. You can put a line in at 3 inches and then align everything up as you want it. It's up to you. This is your layers, adding music, adding a hotspot or a link, putting in a video, a stamp, the punches, embellishments, a text. If you move your mouse along them all, it'll tell you what that icon does. And there's some the same on the resource palette. So if I went to add photos, I'm in the design center, there's this little this little camera icon. I could click there, or I could go up to insert, add photo, or I could go to the camera icon here, add in photo, or I can go to the camera icon in the resource palette. So 4 different ways to do it, and I'm pretty sure there probably is another way if I right click somewhere. The other thing to take note of is, do you see this grey box around the outside of my project, and then there's little grey squares here. This is called the bleed area, and this indicates the area that might be lost when Stampin' Up! Print or cut your project. So you don't ever want to have a photograph or text in this area, because you may lose some of it. You want to steer clear of this. When you initially open up MDS, it tells you that you're showing the bleed area, and do you want to be told about it all the time. And I've clicked that off because I know where it is and I'm used to having it there. The one thing I would advise you though is, don't get rid of your bleed area. You can go up to view, bleed area, and uncheck. You can remove your bleed area. There you go. And you won't see it, but in my opinion, you're better to have it there because it shows you what you might lose. You don't ever want to have a photograph in that area and lose half of it, lose a bit of it, or have a bit of text cut off. So I like to have it there all the time. It's a nice safety net. Along the bottom of your page are all the pages of your project, and you can see here, if I move, I have 27 pages. And with that, you can click on a page and it will bring up that page, and you can drag that page to a different place. I'm going to drag it back again. And then if you right click, you can insert a clean page after and duplicate page. You can mirror pages so that if you had something like in a scrapbook page and you want a scrapbook and you wanted the same on the left exactly on the right and you wanted them mirrored, you can do that. Or you can delete a page. Okay. I'll go back to the first page. So I'm going to go over, can you see these grey marks here? These show me that there's something off the page. And all that means is if I click on the pennants, the red pennants, obviously these are a stamp because it's the stamps that pops up here. And can you see this grey square on the left hand side? These are the registration marks for this stamp. So if I move this stamp, you can see that that whole box moves. And these are the registration marks. With the registration marks, I can rotate or resize. So when it's this right angle, I can resize by sliding in and out. I click on the registration mark and slide in and out. Or when the little circle with the arrow comes up, I can rotate. Now I can also rotate across in the menu here, this one here, the slider. But for the moment, there is another icon that comes up when you hover over, say, a punch or an embellishment, and it's just a straight line with an arrow through it, and that resizes things with the constraints taken off. You can't do that with a stamp because the images are Stampin' Up! Copyrighted, and they obviously don't want you to change the constraints on them. They don't want you to have something tall and skinny because they're actually Stampin' Up! Copyright images. So you can't do that with stamps, but you can do it with punches and embellishments. Now that I've moved the pennants, I'm just going to click here up on the top left, undo. This will become your favorite icon. So I'm back to where I was before. There's nothing that you can't undo. And if you've saved your project and you make a complete mess of it, just don't save it when you close it and you'll open the project up again as it was before. So play around with something. If you don't like it, just click undo. I think that's where we'll leave this video for the moment, and then we'll come back at the next video and I'll start showing you the different elements on each page.